Hi, my Virgo and Virgo rising friends. Sandra from foryourchi.com. We're here today to do your monthly tarot and oracle card reading for January 2022. We're going to look at your first 6 houses for free here on YouTube. And if you want to follow me in the extended, that will contain houses 7 through 12. But let's get to your first house, Virgo. Obstacles and challenges. You're coming into January feeling, I don't want to say defeated, but let's just say this. It hasn't been easy for the Virgos out there, especially this first week in January. What is the advice card? The advice card is whatever struggles that you are going through or that you have been through recently and you have overcome. This is a message that you will acquire the knowledge, so therefore overcoming the obstacle, rising above it, and then you're going to teach this in a lesson in what you have learned to others. This card indicates a teacher, and a spiritual teacher at that. So remember, whatever struggles the Virgo has gone through and is specifically going through right now, you will acquire that knowledge. You will, I'm hearing synthesize it. I don't know if that's right or not. Something about synthesizing. You will integrate it and then you will teach it to other people. Okay? And that could even be something about overcoming a health obstacle as well. Now, your second house, light, prosperity, and bliss are assured. I like this for the Virgos, but particularly in the second house of your money. So this means your money is good right now. You're feeling good about it. You're in a good feeling place, and you are going to continue to be blessed. I have a feeling this is reaping good karma and good seeds that you have sown. You are reaping the rewards of that. So if you're one of those people that pay it forward, I would definitely do that in the first week specifically of January and sow those good seeds again. You did get Leela here, which talks about spending alone time in nature, meditating about what you want to do next with regard to your money. And I specifically gave Virgos a warning in their money reading. If you haven't checked it out on Patreon, please do. Because you could avoid a disaster. And that's how I put it in this reading, in that 2022 Virgo money reading. Go check it out. Okay, third house, brother or sister. The third house sometimes also rules communication. So for some Virgos, this could be talking about your communication. Be careful what you're saying. So this card is, do not blurt out the first thing that comes to your mouth. Now, Virgos don't typically do that, but there could be a slip of the tongue here that is going to cause somebody some problems. So double, triple check what you're saying in your facts and that you're not, saying something that could cause issues. But for the rest of you, this is talking about a brother or sister who is not quite sure of what direction to turn. They have multiple options. They could have multiple relationship options. One is a good option, the rest not so much. This card also indicates that the energy is too scattered to make a good decision right now. So it is best to just wait, put that decision on the back burner if possible. What's the advice card here? Ray, which talks about doing yoga to clear out the chakras and the channels in order to hear the divine message clearly. The divine message cannot be clearly heard right now because there is a chakra blockage. This could be a crown chakra blockage or a third eye. So you may want to be the one that delivers that to your brother or sister. We have the moon card in traditional tarot in your fourth house of home here. This indicates there could be a little depression. Perhaps it's a post-holiday depression now that your family, relatives, or loved ones, friends have left for the holidays, or maybe if you have grown children who are going back home where they live or going back to school or something like that. Your father could also be feeling a little lonely and depressed right now. Reach out to him or father figure. Now, the advice card is a star here. Reach for the stars, it says, and don't settle for less. I feel like I gave the Virgos this message already, but for those Virgos who are moving, it is going to be important that you don't settle for something just because of the cheaper price, okay? It's going to be important to get the house that is aesthetically pleasing to you and that you feel good in. If you don't feel good in the energy, that house will not support you, okay? And it's very important that the structures and the land and everything supports you so that you can continue to support yourself. People don't understand how they are affected by the places that they live oftentimes. Okay, so pay close attention to that, and don't get it for the price. Get it because it feels good. Okay, and then you will be able to afford the price. Continue to afford it. Let's put it that way. Your 5th house, house of socialization in your dating life. Wow, it's a struggle. So you had a struggle in your 1st house, you had a struggle in your 5th house. For those of you single Virgos right now, it's not going to be easy out there in the dating world. For those of you Virgos that are coupled, this is going to be challenges in the social arena and the networking. If you go out and you do things, you're going to feel like you're having to put forth way too much effort in order to just meet up with your friends. Now, you did pull Brigitte here, which talks about a caution and a warning. The bottom of this card says, look deeper into this situation before proceeding further. For those of you that are dating, this is for you specifically. Do not go out with the first person that comes to you. Always trust your gut. If you have questions, reach out to a reader that you trust and look at it. But this definitely talks about not putting all of your eggs in one basket. For those of you that are already coupled and you're not dating, this could be talking about avoiding certain social events. Okay? Now, once in a while, a child will fall in the 5th house, although children typically fall in the 11th. But for those of you Virgos that have multiple children, it's possible that a child could show up in the 5th and then another one in the 11th, if you see what I'm saying. This could be a warning for your child that they don't say yes to someone or a certain situation that is not going to go the way that they wanted it to go. Okay, it could go sideways. So you may need to warn that child if that's you. Now, the last house before we go into the extended reading is Love Begins. This is a great message. It does fall in your house of work and health. This card is the Ace of Cups in traditional tarot. It says that your cup overrunneth. I love it. Now, you did pull a child card, Rosetta, that talks about your gift of teaching. Now, this card also could deal with parenting, because as a parent, you are a teacher because you are raising your own children, right? But we have 2 messages of a teacher here in 6 houses, because you pulled a teacher card in your 1st house, remember? And now this card is saying that you have a gift of working with children. So for those of you that actually work with children, this is your message. It's going to go exceedingly well. Or perhaps there's a Virgo that's watching this that's in school to be a teacher or some kind of teacher, or you've thought about teaching a certain subject. It might not be to little kids, but perhaps it's adults. Okay, but for those of you that need to hear this, this is your gift. These are your gifts. Okay? Now, we pulled something very exciting in your house, in your 7th house of relationships that we're going to go into in the extended. But before we do that, I always pull the tarot cards out of the Morgan Greer deck to see who is around that Virgo. As far as a relationship is concerned, who is interested in the Virgo? We pulled the Lovers, which is the Gemini in traditional tarot. We also pulled another air card here. This is the Queen of Swords. So we're talking Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So that's 2 air signs, heavy on the air. But we also pulled the Rods, which is fire. So there could also be a Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries hanging out in the mix, and perhaps behind the scenes. All right, Virgos, if you want to follow me in the extended, we're going to look at your relationships. We're going to look at your sex life. We're going to look at contracts, taxes, and legal matters, the source of your significant other's income, if you all have that. We're going to look at your school and your travel. We're going to look at your career and your mother. We're going to look at your children, and we're going to look at the future card, which happens in April, approximately 3 months from now. Many blessings.